Um, do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
Oh, yeah, I guess I do.
Dave, you never let me down.
I never let you down. I don't have too much to say about this one because I just watched the trailer and was like, that looks fucking gnarly. That's pretty much it. This is called Devour.
Yeah.
It's coming out somewhere in 2025. It went through, I think 3 or 4 rounds of fundraising. So like, it's been something that they've been working on for quite a while. It is a story about an all-female death metal band called the Virginia Bitches, who are vampires. They then have to, it looks like, save a young girl who is on the run from a cult, and they get trapped in a town full of cannibals that's run by a warlock. So, I think there's werewolves there too.
There's definitely a werewolf in the trailer.
Yeah, and it's about them trying to survive the night, basically. It's Green Room, but like they have to survive. It's a town and it's filled with boogans.
Every type of boogan.
Yeah, just everything in the X-Files just moved to one town. It has distribution, so it's going to exist, and it's going to exist this year. You can go to their Indiegogo. You can look them up on Instagram. The big thing, and I shared the pictures with you guys, it's packed full of practical suit effects, and it looks good. Like, the effects look good. The gore, the practical shit looks good. What did you guys think of this?
I thought it was one long gross noise. But I'm pretty into it. Like, this is extremely my shit. Like, the rest of the movie looks like, like low budget, but they clearly the biggest portion of their money went towards the effects here, and they look good.
They should use this as a pull quote.
If you like
one
creature
long
movies,
gross noise.
yeah, one long gross noise. Yeah. If you like violent creature movies, this looks like it'll be up your alley.
I think the story behind this getting made would be more interesting to me than the movie itself, because I went and found the link to the very first Indiegogo they launched to fund this movie, and they had a $350,000 goal, and they raised $18,000 of it.
Oof.
But eventually got it made anyway. It sounded like you said they just kept doing multiple rounds of funding and drumming up fan support and that kind of thing. I 100% believe they wanted to title the movie The Virginia Bitches.
Yeah.
Because that's what's on the original Indiegogo. That's the name of the girl vampire band. And that the distributor said, there's platforms that won't take it if you have that on there. It's, the Apple or whoever, the most restrictive ones won't link to it or promote it if you've got a curse word in the title. So they had to rename it Devour.
Oh yeah, 100%.
An incredibly generic name for a monster movie, but whereas the Virginia Bitches, if you saw that on a streaming service, you'd at least stop and say, "What?"
Yeah, you're right. That it might get lost in the shuffle with that name.
Well,
you're right.
It's just like Feast, which is a shitty creature movie. So
right, but also I think if you're trying to break into Hollywood and you don't have connections, it's my understanding by far the best thing you can do is try to scrape together the money and make something.
Oh yeah.
Put it up on YouTube or wherever. Just make a scene or a short, or if you're able to shoot a feature. Like, not saying you have to be as ambitious as this, where you're recruiting people that can do latex monster effects work, things like that. But I think crowdfunding it, scraping the money together to just shoot a thing and have that thing exist is your best foot in the door, unless your parents are Randy Quaid and
right. I love that they fought hard to make this, where it's like after the first round of funding, they probably made like a short or something, right? Where they're like, all right, let's use what we have. Let's make what we can and keep proving ourselves to make money. And the fact that they did 4 rounds and now we're looking at it, and it's just, I think it looks just glorious in terms of the practical creature stuff. And it's just like
Terrifier was a crowdfunded thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now is a $1 billion franchise that they'll be making forever. That was one where originally, again, it was somebody, who knew how to do a certain type of a film and effects worker, had those connections, but had to get the public to scrape the money together for them, and just made it. Didn't wait. for somebody to pick it up, didn't pitch it. It's like, well, no, we'll just make it and then see what happens. And yeah, it's a giant pain in the ass to make a movie. I've said before on this podcast, there's no such thing as a lazy movie. Movies are incredibly difficult to make, harder than you think. If you don't believe me, go try it. Try to shoot just one scene in a film. But yeah, it's if you can get. And how many views do they have in the trailer? Does it have traction at all?
Not enough.
And it has 52,000 views, went up a month ago. And that's just linked on the director's own YouTube channel. He has 3,600 subscribers to his YouTube. So got a movie, got it put into the world. There you go. That's
got distribution. Yeah.
Got distribution. It's going to be up on where people can watch it, presumably on all of the platforms. It had to back down on the title to get that done, I'm sure. But hey.
Yeah, it's Raven Banner Entertainment, which has done a good amount of movies that people like. It does like indie horror, but enough that you would like probably recognize some of the stuff they've done. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably show up on streaming. I hope we know when it does. You know what I mean? So many of these that I do where they'll just pop up on streaming like a year later, I'll be like, oh, there it is.